everyone, it's Max, and today I am here with the intimidating TBR book tag. So this is very thrown together. I'm not wearing anything specific. I'm wearing a jacket, but I just found out that I was home alone and I was like, I need to film. So I looked up just a TBR book tag and I found this one. What I watched was from Reagan from Prue's project, and I feel like she's done it a few times, and I was like, yes, this is the one. And so that's what I'm going to do. So the first question is a book that you have not been able to finish, and for this I'm going with A Peculiar Peril by Jeff Vandermeer. I started this, I want to say in like March or February, sometime around there, and I just have not picked it up since. I tried to read it in a week, and then I just like was not interested, and I just ended up not reading that week. But I am a little bit of the way through, and I think it's just so weird, and Jeff Vandermeer's writing is not really for me. Because this follows a guy who inherits a house that it actually is like a portal to like other worlds, and we also follow Napoleon, or at least his head, and it just is like weird and nonsensical, and I just was not in the mood, and I just have not been able to pick it up since, because I just don't want to read it. I'm like, it doesn't interest me like at all. It's a beautiful cover, but it just doesn't interest me. The next set of questions is basically, what is a book that you have yet to read because ... And the first one is because I haven't had the time. For that, I am going with To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. This also contributes to the fact, or the fact that Reagan from Prue's project didn't like it contributes to the fact that I haven't picked it up, but it's also huge. It's over 800 pages, and it's intimidating to me. I'm not, like, I don't read that much, like, huge adult sci-fi. I don't read any huge adult sci-fi, honestly. And so this, I feel like, is quite the way to jump in, and I just haven't picked it up yet because I'm just really nervous. I know this has to do with, like, a first contact with aliens, and I think, like, our main character, Kira, like, so here's like the tagline. It's Kira Navarez dreams of life on new worlds. Now she's awakened a nightmare. So I know it's like the start of like this huge like sea opera or space opera, space opera epic, and it just makes me a little nervous. The next question is a book you haven't been able to read because ... It's a sequel. And for this, I'm going with The Trouble with Peace, as well as basically since I bought like all of Joe Abercrombie's books because they're sequels. Yeah, I had to read the first Blade trilogy first, or the first Law trilogy first, and then the standalones, and now I'm getting to this entire series, which actually starts with A Little Hatred and then The Trouble with Peace. But now this is the next series that I'm picking up. I'm a little nervous, honestly, but yeah, so I just own like all of his books in this world, and so I just haven't been able to get to these because it's not that time yet. I still had to read all the other books by him. And then the next question is because it's brand new, and I am going with Catherine Parr, The Sixth Wife by Alison Weir. I love Alison Weir's books about Henry VIII's 6 wives, and we have come to an end. And this is brand new. I know it's a paperback, but I got it on Book Depository for that reason, because I just wanted a paperback. I did not want this as a hardcover, and also it's a lot more expensive as a hardcover. So I did get this, and I am so excited. This follows Henry VIII's last wife, Catherine Parr, who outlives him. I wrote my senior film thesis about her. She's my favorite wife. I'm like very, very excited to pick this up, but I recently got it, so like it's new, and I'm planning on reading it in November, so we're all good. Because I didn't like a book by the same author, and for this I'm going with The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I read Mannequins by him and hated it. I thought it was awful, like so predictable, so obvious, and just bad. Really, really bad. And so I'm nervous about this one, but it does intrigue me. It is very short, but I'm just gonna, oh, it's just a bunch of quotes. So it's a tale of revenge, because I think people might have killed, follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. I wonder if it's kind of like a Killing of the Sacred Deer situation, because like there's a deer, or an elk. I think it's an elk, but you know, on the cover. So like makes me think it's a Killing of the Sacred Deer situation where they killed like this sacred animal and now are being hunted for revenge because of it. Kayla from Books and Lala, I'm pretty sure really enjoyed this, and so I think I will, but I just hated the mannequins so much that I'm just nervous picking this up. Because I haven't been in the mood, and for this I'm going with a book that has been on many a TBR, but I just have not been able to pick it up because I'm not in the mood, and I'm going with Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. Yeah. I'm just so scared to pick this up. It's not even like that long. It's not even 600 pages, but I'm just so nervous for so many reasons. I've not read a book in this time period that focuses on a man besides Henry VIII, so I'm a little scared how she's going to do that. I always read about the queens, and this follows Thomas Cromwell, who is the biggest champion for Anne Boleyn, and then Anna of Cleves, and he loses his head because of it. And I'm just nervous. I'm just scared. I'm scared of it. I'm scared. It is an entire trilogy. This is the first book, and I'm just really nervous about it, and I just have not been in the mood. But like Catherine Parr, I am planning on reading it in November. Fingers crossed it happens. Question number 7 is because it's humongous, and yeah, so disclaimer, this is a 3-in-1. So like the books themselves aren't like especially long, but it's huge, and that is An Infinity for Steel by Sam Sykes. It is 1,400 plus pages, and it's so heavy. Like, I read Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, which is 1,400 plus pages, but it's not heavy like this. And this is just like, I mean, it's a beautiful floppy paperback, but it's like impossible to read from. Like, I'm so scared. I am also scared because I didn't love 10 Arrows of Iron by him, which is the sequel to Seven Blades in Black, which I loved. So I'm just a little nervous about this, but I do hope to love it. And so I'm just gonna read the back because honestly, I just don't really remember what it's about. When a man picks up a sword, there are only a few productive things he can do, and the very lowest of these is to become an adventurer, like Lenk and his companions. For the right price, no deed is too dirty, no task is too dangerous, no foe is too ferocious. Not even a demon. So I think there's some demon hunting involved, and I mean, it's just gigantic, and I'm just so scared to like pick this up and try to like physically read this. We'll see. The next question is because it was a cover buy that has now gotten bad reviews, and for this I'm going very solely based on Kayla from Books and Lala's review because I haven't heard anyone else read it, but honestly the rest of the books on my TBR, besides To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, which just went towards that other prompt so much better, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I don't know about the others and what their reviews are. So I am going with this one, and that is The Way Madness Lies, Shakespeare's Most Notable Works Reimagined, edited by Dahlia Adler. This is like a short story collection that are remakes, re-envisions of Shakespeare's plays. It goes, I think, comedies, sonnets, and then dramas, and I'm just like, I'm not like nervous about it by any means. It's short stories. I don't love short stories, but I do love Shakespeare. So I am hoping to enjoy this somewhat, but we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be fine. Like, it's tiny, it's not a big deal, but I just don't know. I don't know. And the fact that Kayla didn't love it makes me hesitant. And then the last question is question number 9, and that is, what is the most intimidating book on your TBR? And for this, I'm going with The Absolute Book by Elizabeth Knox. And this is because 1, it is long, but 2, I think like it has the recipe to be the perfect book. And so I'm really nervous that I'm not gonna end up loving it. So I'm gonna read it expecting to absolutely adore it and then be sorely disappointed. And so that is why I am nervous about this. This is about a woman whose parents' house burns down and might kill them, but she is approached by the fact that her parents owned this box that is completely fireproof, and it has been seen throughout history. So she goes on this adventure trying to either find the box or trying to find how to unlock it or what it does, and it takes her to like portal worlds and back in time and all over the world, and it just sounds amazing. And I'm just so excited to pick it up, but it just has the recipe to be like my favorite book of all time. So I feel like if it ends up not being my favorite book of all time, it's gonna be a huge disappointment. So that is why I am nervous about picking this up. But I also like just recently got it, so like not that big of a deal. But I am so excited to read this, but very nervous. All right, everyone, that is it for my most intimidating TBR tag. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what some of the books that you find intimidating on your TBR, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye.